Hello class, this is Mrs. Galucci. Today we're going to review long division. This is our first lesson of Unit 1. Today we're going to review the vocabulary words dividend, divisor, quotient. Before we begin our lesson, please check out the Dividing Whole Numbers worksheet. We're going to work on the star diagram in just a few minutes. You're going to fill out the star diagram. I'm going to give you the definitions for dividend, quotient, divisor, and in those boxes you're going to fill in the definitions. And then you're going to, below each definition, write the number from the center equation that corresponds to that element. Dividend is the amount that you want to divide up. Divisor is the number you divide by. Quotient is the answer to a division problem. So you have dividend divided by divisor equals your quotient. 20 is your dividend divided by 4, which is your divisor, equals 5, which is your quotient. If you need to pause the video to write down your definitions and to complete your star diagram, go ahead. Now with division, you can check your work to make sure you get the right answers. The opposite of division is multiplication. So if you divide 99 divided by 11 and you get 9, you can check to make sure that's correct by going the opposite way. You can take 9, multiply it by 11, so 9 times 11 gives you 99, and 99 was your dividend. So you know that you've done that correctly. And this is what your paper should look like. Please pause the video to make sure that your paper has the same information as mine does. Using the same worksheet that you were with the star diagram, I want you to complete the bottom portion of the page. You're going to fill in the missing dividends, divisors, and quotients in the chart, and then you're going to answer the 3 questions down below. So please pause the video while you complete the chart and answer the questions. When you're ready, press play and go on to the next slide. Now, let's review long division. I like to use acronyms to help me remember steps when solving math problems. So the acronym I use for long division is DMSCB. And I remember those steps by using does McDonald's sell cheeseburgers? And what DMSCB stands for is divide, multiply, subtract, check, and bring down. Now at this time, please turn to the multi-digit division worksheet in your packet. We're going to complete problems 1 and 2 together, and then you're going to complete problems 3, 4, and 5 on your own. Now it is expected that whenever I'm writing, you should be writing as well, so you should always be showing your work. The first problem that we're going to practice is 875 divided by 14. We're going to use the DMSCB to help us with dividing. So we have to ask ourselves, how many 14s can go into 87? 14 can go into 87 6 times. If you want to check, you can go off to the side and you can go 14 times 6. 14 times 6 is 84. So you write 84 underneath of 87. Our next step, we subtract. 87 minus 84 is 3. We check by saying, is 3 less than 14? It is. So now we can bring down the 5. And we start all over. We divide by going 14 goes into 35. 14 can go into 35 2 times. Now we multiply. 2 times 14 is 28. We subtract. 35 minus 28 is 7. Now what you're probably used to is putting an R7 at the top right beside 62. But now we're going to continue dividing, but when you continue dividing, you have to make sure you add your decimal, and then you have to add your decimal to your quotient. And then you can add a 0 and you can continue dividing. Bring down the 0. So now you can ask yourself, 14 goes into 70 how many times? Well, I'm going to try 5. 14 times 5. 14 times 5 is 70. So I write my 5 at the top. I multiply. 5 times 14 is 70. I subtract, which is 0. So now I come out with a 0, and so my answer is 62.5. Let's try another problem. Here we have 1,248 divided by 36, and we're going to use the same steps: divide, multiply, subtract, check, and bring down. So we ask ourselves, can 36 go into 12? 36 cannot go into 12, so we move to the next place value. 36 goes into 124. I'm going to say 3 times. Let's check. 36 times 3. 36 times 3 is 108. So we add 3 to the top. 3 times 36 is 108. So now we subtract. 124 minus 108 is 16. We check by saying, is 16 less than 36? And it is. So now we can bring down the 8. We start over by dividing. 36 goes into 168. I'm going to say 4 times. 36 times 4. 36 times 4 is 144. So I add my 4 above the 8. 4 times 36 is 144. I subtract. 168 minus 144 is 24. Again, we're not going to write remainder 24, we're going to keep dividing. So when we continue dividing, we have to add our decimal to the dividend and a 0. Whenever we add a decimal to our dividend, we have to bring it up in our quotient. So now we bring the 0 down. Now we can continue dividing. 36 goes into 240 6 times. So what is 36 times 6? 36 times 6 is 216. Goes into it 6 times. 6 times 36 is 216. So now we subtract. 240 minus 216 is 24. So now we add another 0 and you bring it down. And again, we have 240 just like what we had at the beginning. So 36 goes into 240 6 times. 6 times 36 is 216. We subtract, which is 24. And you can add another 0, bring it down, but the pattern is we keep getting 24 as a remainder. So this is what we call a repeating decimal. It will go on forever and ever, and it will never end, and you will keep getting 6666. So we can end it by saying our quotient is 34.66. But to show that it's repeating, we put a line over top of it, and this shows that the 6 is repeating. This is what we call a repeating decimal. So your answer is 34.66, or you could just write it as 34.6 with a line over it. It is the same thing. We just did problems 1 and 2 together. Now I want you to complete problems 3, 4, and 5 on your own. Please pause the video and answer problems 3, 4, and 5. When you're ready to check your answers, press play. The answer to number 3 is 45. The answer to number 4 is 72.5416 with the line over top, which means that the 6 keeps repeating. It does not end. And number 5, your answer is 10.416 with the line over the 6, which means that the 6 repeats. But the question says, what's the maximum number of lollipops each person will receive? The answer is 10 because you cannot break up a lollipop into smaller pieces. So the maximum number of lollipops that each person will receive is 10. Now that we have done some long division problems together, I want you to complete this sheet on your own. Please pause the video while you complete these 8 problems. When you're ready, press play. Now here are the answers for the division word problems. Number 1, the answer is 48. Number 2, the answer is 23. Number 3, the answer is 20 eggs in each basket. You may have gotten 40, but then you have to remember each student had 2 baskets, so you divide it by 2, which gives you 20. Number 4 is 47. Number 5 is 87. Number 6 is 7. Number 7 is 37. Number 8 is 49. Your homework for tonight is to complete the following 6 problems using graph paper. So complete this for homework, and when you come to class tomorrow, the first thing you're going to do is check your answers. Good luck!